threatened that we know of at this point. We are making calls, and we do have a reporter on the way to the scene. As soon as we get more information, we'll pass it along to you. Debbie.
Thank you, Scott. Brian Ramsey here now with our all-important forecast. Brian.
Yes, and fire danger remains high today. That's mainly because the dry weather and the windy conditions that we're seeing will be fueling some of these fires. So I hope firefighters get onto that fire really quickly. Here's a live look out at Nelson. Notice at the bottom of the screen we have a lot of grass out there. You can see it's really blowing around out there. The winds are elevated at the moment. And we do have that wind advisory in place now through 11 o'clock in the valley. And they also extended this out to parts of the Sierra as well through 5 a.m. So we need to keep a close eye on any fires that start out there in the Sierra as well, because that could be a little dangerous. But winds will be sustained 20 to 30 miles per hour out there, gusting up to 55 miles per hour. And because of that, not just the winds, but the dry conditions and the dry vegetation has also means we're under a red flag warning. That red flag warning was put into place this morning and will last until the middle of the day tomorrow. Again, that's because we have those gusty winds, dry conditions, and dry vegetation. As for that relative humidity values right now out there at Oroville where that fire is, 13% humidity. So it's very dry out there. The rest of the valley's in the teens to single digits. So some pretty extreme dry weather out there. As far as those winds right now, the winds are a little lighter down south towards Oroville, 15 miles per hour. But I was looking at the weather station out there, and winds have gusted to about 32 miles per hour out there in Oroville for that fire. As for sustained winds farther north in the valley, a little higher out there at 26 for Redding. As for those current temperatures right now, we're much cooler today as well. 64 degrees out there at Redding, 66 in Chico, 67 in Oroville. And look at those mountain locations. Some of you are still in the 30s, 39 out there in Alturas, only 43 in Susanville. So a pretty cool day out there. We're going to get even cooler tonight with the entire valley dropping into the 30s tonight. And some of those mountain locations, look at that. Alturas is almost to 0 degrees. So getting pretty cold out there as well. As for highs tomorrow, we'll warm up just a little bit. So Redding could hit the 70s. The rest of you should be staying in the upper 60s to low 70s. And those mountain locations, again, will be another cold one for you out there. As for the 7-day forecast that we're keeping a close eye on, 67 degrees for a high tomorrow, rising to 71 once we get to Halloween, with winds really dropping down for Thursday, which is good news. Those low temperatures stay pretty low, but they do warm up through the week, and so do those high temperatures. Once we get to Sunday, don't forget to turn back those clocks an hour, because remember, spring forward will fall back for Sunday. As we go to Monday, temperatures seem to taper off and kind of stay in the mid-70s for the rest of the week. As for Redding, a high of 68 for tomorrow, so still pretty cool tomorrow. Once we get to Halloween, Halloween's warming up a little bit to 73 degrees, but it will still be cold if you're trick-or-treating at night, so definitely wear a few extra layers when you're outdoors. But once you go to Friday to Saturday, things look to warm up even more out there in Redding, and we could get even close to the 80s by the weekend.
All right, thanks, Brian. Chico's popular Treat Street is happening again this year. Coming up, where you can go for some tricks and treats on Halloween. Plus,